and welcome to Kush News, the newscast of the African diaspora. I'm your anchor, Ochanda, in for the weekend edition, daily bringing you the top stories from Africa and the Caribbean. Let's look at today's news on Sunday, April 2nd, 2023. Let's go to Nairobi, where Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga on Sunday said that he was suspending anti-government protests and was ready for talks after an appeal from President William Ruto. Thousands have joined 3 marches over the past 2 weeks against high cost of living and alleged fraud in last year's presidential vote. All have been marred by violence, and a 4th rally was scheduled for this upcoming Monday. Earlier on Sunday, Ruto had asked Odinga to call off the protests that he had said resulted in 3 deaths and injured more than 400 people, including 60 officers. Ruto defended his administration record and said that there could be bipartisan reform, one of the opposition's central demands. Odinga said he saw Ruto's statement as an olive branch. He also added that we stand down on our demonstrations for Monday, that is April 3rd, 2023. The opposition has been pushing for reforms to the Electoral Commission, including a stronger assurance that the president can't back the body with supporters. It's at times like this, Odinga said, that we should go back to subsidies so that the cost of living can come down. Odinga added that the opposition would engage in the government in the high cost of living, which galvanized many of the protesters. There have been more than 20 attacks and violence against journalists since the start of the protests. Behind a significant portion of the attacks, journalists, according to the Kenyan Media Sector Working Group, have been targeted. Ruto said that he did not believe journalists were targeted, but that some have been caught in the fray. Those in Kenya, let us know what your guys' thoughts are on at least the call off for right now on upcoming Manamano. Let's keep it in East Africa and go to South Sudan. The first batch of South Sudanese soldiers arrived in Goma, Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, on Sunday. The group of at least 45 soldiers is joining a regional military force in the region that has been fighting the M23 rebellion. This is a 7-nation East African military force that was created last June. It is due to oversee the withdrawal of M23 fighters from Eastern Congo. Much of the region has dozens of armed groups, a legacy of the regional wars that have flared since the early 1990s. Since re-emerging back in late 2021, M23 rebels have captured swaths of territory in North Kivu province and advanced within several kilometers of its capital, Goma. March 30th was supposed to mark the end of the withdrawal of all quote-unquote armed groups, but a timetable has been adopted since then by the East African community. Those in South Sudan, let us know what your thoughts on getting involved. Let us know. Drop a comment below. Let's keep it in East Africa and let's keep it to Sudan in the north. Sudanese leaders have postponed the signing of an agreement planned for Sunday. The deal was intended to pave the way for a return to democratic government, but the delay have been blamed on the continuing disagreement with military factions. Representatives have had weeks of negotiations for an agreement, and the final part in a 2-phase political process launched last December and intended to set out the terms for reviving the transition to a civilian-led rule. Instead, the long-awaited ceremony expected on Saturday could not be signed due to a lack of consensus on certain issues. Reform of the security forces was a key point of contention in the talks, and the departure of army generals from politics being installed into civilian government was also a contention. Critics have decried as vague was the deal. So what's the future of this? The proposed reforms include the integration into the regular army of the powerful paramilitary that's called the Rapid Support Forces, RSF for short, led by Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, second in command to the 2021 coup leader Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. Created in 2013, the RSF emerged from the Janjaweed militia that Omar Bashir had unleashed a decade earlier in the western region of Darfur against non-Arab rebels. The militia has since been accused by human rights groups of having committed war crimes. Talks have stalled since, and according to observers, the persistent dispute over a timetable for the RSF's integration still remains. Those in Sudan, let us know what your thoughts, and let us know where do you think this is going. We end today's weekend edition with the African proverb of the day. And it comes to us from Kenya. Vipi Kenya. And it reads, only a medicine man gets rich by sleeping. Once again, only a medicine man gets rich by sleeping. Wow. Hopefully you guys aren't sleeping on Kush news. Let me know your interpretation of this week's and today's African proverb of the day. Also, give your views, comments, and concerns on today's and weekend edition of the top stories. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for this and any time that we upload an episode, which is every single day. For Kush News on Kush Convos TV, I'm Ochanda. We'll see you next time.